Hey humans, this is the Spooky Lady here. Welcome to my second ever YouTube video. This video is going to be my 2019 favorites video. Basically all of the products that I tried and really fell in love with in the past year. I know it's kind of late, it's like February now. This did take a while to kind of sort through and organize. So kind of the general rule of this favorite video is that it has to be a new product that came into my collection in 2019 that I tried. And I generally try to stick with products that are fairly recent releases or that aren't really cult classics products that a lot of people would know about. So generally newer products that have come into the market. So I'm really excited to kind of share my thoughts on all of these products, and I am wearing a lot of the items that I'm going to be mentioning today. I'm not going to go through my full makeup deets in this video. However, I will be posting this look on Instagram, so if you do want to know the full details of this look, it will be there, and I'll have a link to my Insta down below as well. So I'm going to start with kind of complexion, and I'm going to start with primers. So in the past 2 years, I've really learned a lot about my skin, and it's really kind of helped to solidify what I love in my complexion products. And one of the things I've really discovered is that I love gel and jelly primers. The two all over the face primers that I really fell in love with this year are the NYX Bear With Me Hydrating Jelly Primer and the Milk Hydro Grip. So I have the mini of the Milk Hydro Grip. This is $20, and then the full size is $40. These are Canadian dollars, by the way. I'm Canadian. So the NYX Bear With Me primer is $22. And then close up of that. NYX Bear With Me primer, I would say the texture is that kind of jello-like texture, and then it melts as you put it on. It's really easy to spread out. It has a bit of stickiness and definitely is hydrating, non-irritating, very calming throughout the day. And I would say the same is true for the Hydro Grip. Where the Hydro Grip comes out on top a little is with, of course, with the packaging. I like that it's a pump more than it's a jar. The Hydro Grip primer has more skincare ingredients in the list and has more stated benefits, if that is something that's important to you. It is also much stickier, a little bit harder to spread out on the skin than the NYX, but I do find it has a little bit more holding power. A companion primer to the two I mentioned, so normally when I do my makeup, I'll pick one of the two and put it on all over. And then just to kind of spot prime my problem pore areas, I've been really loving the Tatcha Silk Canvas. So this primer is quite a luxe product, and it just really helps to fill in your pores, smooth everything out, and calm those areas. This is also one of the only pore filling types of primers I've used that does not pill on my skin. It's got a very nice pleasant smell, and as well as one of the only pore filling primers that has not kind of irritated my skin. It doesn't trigger my acne or eczema, so it is just a gem. Now moving on to foundations, there were two foundations that made it into my favorites list this year. They are on this list for very similar reasons. I've got a drugstore, or I guess more affordable primer option in the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. I am particularly in the shade 425 Linen. And then as the pricier foundation that I've really fallen in love with, I've got the Stay Naked from Urban Decay. I'm in the particular shade 30WY. Now the first thing I noticed when I started using these two foundations is how freaking close they are to my skin tone as a color match. They are both bang on, and they both last beautifully. Difference-wise, the Stay Naked is, I would still consider a matte foundation, although it does not look cakey and it does not look heavy on the skin. So about medium coverage. And then for the L'Oreal one, it's got a bit more of a satin finish, not quite as matte, but it still dries down, so it's very long-lasting, very easy to wear. And today I've got the Stay Naked on. The last item that I've got under the complexion category is going to be the Glow Recipe Watermelon Ultra Fine Mist. I really enjoy this product. It's a beautiful, beautiful sprayer. It literally feels like walking in a foggy meadow, and there's just this pleasant watermelon scent, and it finishes your makeup beautifully. It's so dewy. Like, I am so obsessed with this. Like, every time I smell it, I just want to open this up and drink it, even though that would probably kill me. So for blush, I really got into the shimmer blush train this year. And the one I really fell in love with this year was the Balmfire highlighting blush duos. So I bought all three of them. So this first duo here is called the Night Owl, and it's got like very bronzy kind of neutral shades. So that one's a really pretty nude blush. Second, I've got Beach Goer. So this is more of a cool tone duo, has some purple tones in it. Especially the second shade here is a really pretty, almost purple blush. This duo is Game Day. It's got this beautiful mauvey one with gold glitter in it. And then this shade, it's nice and peachy and pink. And today I have Pre-Party on my cheeks. In 2019, I got 21, that is right ladies and gentlemen, 21 new eyeshadow palettes. It sounds insane hearing me say it. And I also didn't buy all of them. I managed to pick out 8 out of 21 palettes that I'm going to say were my favorites of this year. And I've kind of broken the 8 palettes down into kind of like mini categories. So the first is matte colorful shadows. The first of which, the colored Raine Vivid Pigment Palette. These eyeshadows more than speak for themselves. This is without a doubt one of the best, if not the best, matte rainbow palettes on the market. All of the colors are super intense. The bright shades are bright, the dark shades are deep without blending out black, and everything is ultra pigmented and ultra blendable. Color Raine knocked it out of the park with this release, and I am so unbelievably in love with all of these eyeshadows. Moving on, another colorful matte palette that absolutely took over when it came into my life was the Sugarpill fun-sized mini color palette. This thing is so cute. Look at it. Oh my goodness. Topping it all off, the inside is adorable as well. Got the heart-shaped mirror and the holographic detailing, and the shades are super interesting. They're not really like your typical pastel type colors. I've wanted to try Sugarpill eyeshadows for the longest time now. I finally have a Sugarpill palette in my life, and it is everything. So the next palette that I'm going to talk about is kind of going to transition into the next category of palettes that I want to talk about, which is my favorite palettes broken down by season. This eyeshadow palette is both a colorful matte palette that I really love this year, as well it's also going to be my favorite palette of spring 2019, and it is the Shroud Cosmetics Creepy Cute palette, and this is honestly the best pastel palette on the market. Everything is soft and beautiful but still rich and blendable, provides lots of pigment on the eyes. Without a doubt my favorite pastel palette. Moving on to summer, this is going to be sort of the one eyeshadow palette I have that I wouldn't consider indie. And it is the Huda Beauty Neon Pink palette, or the Neon Obsessions Pink palette. And this is the palette that got me into pinks and purples. I know there was a lot of complaint when these palettes were announced that the colors weren't true neon enough, and I would agree, but I do consider it very well curated a complementary neon palette. All of these shades work beautifully with like the 1 or 2 neons that exist within it. Neon pigments are beautiful, but they can be very difficult to work with, and this was just simple eyeshadow that you could throw on over an eyeshadow base and it would look great. Now we're gonna move on to my fall palette pick of the year, and that will have to be the Lunar Beauty Moon Spell. This is the front of the palette. The detail work is impeccable. The back as well has art. The minute I saw this palette, I knew I had to buy it. One of the first things that caught my eye about this palette is that it's a very unique fall color scheme. And that I mainly mean it's not orange and it's not red. Instead, it's got purples and greens with kind of some pink and blue elements, and then some nudes that help to tie the two color stories together. And I love purples and greens together. It gives me Beetlejuice vibes, it gives me Joker vibes. It's just a very iconic combo for me, and so this palette was just a dream come true. Alrighty, and now we are going to move to the Winter 2019 palette that I absolutely loved. It is the Melt Cosmetics Amor Eterno collection. Absolutely stunning. This was the treat yourself purchase for me of the year. For this favorites video specifically, I'm going to be featuring the Muerte palette, as this was the winter color story this year. Just the deep blues and teals and then mixed with the dark reds was just everything I wanted to wear this Christmas and throughout January. I will actually be making a video featuring 3 looks with this collection. So keep an eye out for that. If it's already out, I will link it in the description box. But yeah, absolute love. The last thing I'm going to mention in the eyeshadow category are going to be some single shadows. I'm kind of there are 3 different releases. I'm just mentioning them all at once because they're by the same brand, and that is Devinah Cosmetics. So on the top row, I have the Exploders collection. So that was their kind of candy and Willy Wonka inspired glittery multi-chrome topper shades. And then I've got, these are the Galaxy Dust Galaxy Dust shifters in the middle row here. And they're kind of deeper multi-chromes. So they all shift that kind of grungy, like almost brownie shade. And then 2 kind of other colors. And then lastly, I have the Butterfly Multichromes in the bottom, and these are kind of your more traditional multichromes. They're very beautiful. These are just something so special and so unique. So to finish off eyeshadows, I'm just going to zoom in a little and show you what I have on my eyes. So in the crease and outer corners, I have the Sugarpill Fun Sized palette, as well as a bit of the darker purples in the Colored Raine Pressed Pigment Palette. And then on the lid, the shimmers this is a shade Skyla from the Galaxy Dust shifters. And then I have in the inner corner one of the Exploders as well. Alrighty, and now we're back to talk about the last couple of products. So first, continuing on with eyes, this year I fell in love with the ColourPop BFF Cream Gel Liners, and these have been amazing. You can kind of see that they come in super bright colors and lots of them. The pigmentation on these are really great as well. They last super well in the waterline. Specifically today I have the shade Insomniac in my waterline. And finally, we're going to move on to the lips category. I have 2 products I'm going to be sharing with you today, and they are both by the brand MAC. So the first product I'm going to be mentioning are the MAC Love Me lipsticks. I am wearing one as well. I'm specifically wearing the shade Coffee and 6. It is a lovely mauvey brown. These lipsticks really caught my attention because they have a beautiful creamy glossy finish. This is another shade I love. It's called Laissez-Faire. It's a beautiful pink nude. They also have they're very moisturizing and very creamy on the lips. Lots of great color. Killing Me Softly, another favorite of mine. And yeah, and they've just been a really pleasant, a beautiful experience, and a real lip saver for the really dry winter months here in Canada. And the second product that I'm going to be mentioning are the Patent Paint Lip Lacquers. I've got 7 of them. And these are the first glossy lip products that I like. I have historically struggled with glossy lip products, and especially colorful, like very high pigmentation glossy lip products. They do not stay on me. They go everywhere. They feather, they bleed. But these are beautiful and amazing, and they don't go anywhere. The color is super intense and beautiful. And I finally can have nice glossy lips that aren't super sticky. I've been wearing them a lot on my Instagram. I featured this in my first video as well. And finally, we've come to the end of this video. 2019 was a great makeup year for me, to be honest. I discovered so many new types of products, new techniques. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. All of the products I've spoken about today are going to be listed in the description box below. You should check them out. If you like this video, please consider liking it and leaving me a comment. Please validate my existence by clicking the subscribe button. Thank you again for joining me for this makeup chat. I hope you have a great rest of your life, and farewell.